We are back in the saddle for some Borderlands 4 Switch 2 gameplay. Checking out if a modern, a brand new, a 2025 fall game can run like butter on a Switch 2, or does it run like molasses? What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Shout out to Marcel, MD14, link to his channel in the description down below. This dude is at Fan Expo right now up in Canada, and he's bringing us the heat for all the third-party Switch 2 games. I already posted some Elden Ring gameplay, and there might be more to come. But Borderlands 4 is an interesting one, okay? We've talked all week about can Final Fantasy VII Remake, can Elden Ring Tarnished Edition run well on Switch 2? The issue is, those games are multiple years old. Okay, Borderlands 4 ain't out yet, so this is kind of the test that a lot of people want to see and that I want to see. How is the Switch 2 holding up? Now, we know it's not going to be a perfect 60 frames per second, so get that out of your head right now. The question is it in a playable format that feels good, looks good, and is like workable for a high-octane, fast-paced Twitch first-person shooter? Now, yes, this isn't competitive multiplayer, but still, like, you don't want your Borderlands to feel sluggish and slow. Borderlands has not been out for 6 years, I believe, which is crazy when you think about it. It feels like Borderlands 3 was just a couple years ago. Time freaking flies. But so far, this is looking pretty nifty. It looks pretty crisp. It seems like the action is pretty darn nice. Now, you're looking at a screen through a screen through a screen, so remember that, right? Like, it's my screen, and then it's his camera screen, and then it's a TV screen, so it's screenception. But look how fast he's firing off those rockets, switching to some sort of power ability. You've got a lot of nice lighting and glint off of the guns, which I think looks really good. So visually, we're at a pretty good spot. Performance, I'd say this is looking like a solid 30 frames per second. When he loaded in, there was like a hitch, but that was just at the load-in. I haven't seen anything else that has told me that, okay, like this game is going to be poor. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel. To me, this means more than Elden Ring. To me, this means more than Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. To me, this is like, can we get a modern game to run at a good clip, right? There's a lot of action happening. There's a lot of bullets coming at him. There's a lot of effects. Ooh, was that a slowdown there? Was that a slight slowdown? I mean, if there's a ton of action on screen and we have one or two slowdowns from time to time, I don't think that's too bad. There are a lot of effects happening. Ideally, this game runs perfectly, but remember, it still has some time, okay? This demo build has to be at least a few months old. They can't bring you the latest build of the game like, oh, we finalized it today, here's the demo. So this has to be a couple months old. So if there's one or two hitches, one or two slight issues, I expect those to get resolved by launch. This does not look like a game that is struggling. This does not look like a game that's having a hard time. This does not look like a game that is really going to, you know, put people in a panic when it comes to Switch 2 third-party goodness. We've experienced kind of the roller coaster of emotions about the Switch 2 and its third parties, as Elden Ring Tarnished Edition reportedly was terrible, like abysmal in handheld mode. Then I showed you guys docked footage from Marcel, and it looked pretty darn good, like totally playable in a pretty good spot. And we know that they're going to have months to improve upon that. And so I have full confidence that they'll get that in a good spot. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate looked very good in the footage we've seen, both handheld and docked. And now you got Borderlands 4, a brand new game, a 2025 game. Yes, they're taking 3 extra weeks to get the Switch 2 version out, which is a bummer. But I think it's only because it is the first year, the first 6 months, the first 3 months, right, of the system. I think if this was, you know, an early 2026 title, it is coming out day and date. But, you know, they got to get the machine churning. They got to get the Switch 2 machine churning. But this looks good. There's effects flying left, right, center. We got melee, we got shooting, we got characters zipping around, and nobody is struggling. It's crazy to think that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were putting up windmills of 1 frame per second, and now we've got a modern 2025 game on the next version of Switch, the new generation of Switch, and it's playing like this. Like, this is totally good. This is super happy. Is it going to look as good and run as perfect as a PS5? No. But we're not looking for that. We're looking for very playable, very fun, and not something that feels like it's holding you back, right? I think the biggest thing for Switch 2 is you don't want your big, new, bold $450 system to feel like it's holding you back. You don't want this system to feel like, hey, like I'm making a sacrifice playing it on Switch 2. And the biggest sacrifice that you could make is that the performance is sluggish, and especially in FPS, it makes it feel like you can't really aim, like you're kind of doing this approximation of aiming. You're not doing actual direct aiming. Now, I'm not sure if you can use gyro or mouse controls for aiming in this title. It looks like he's playing just straight up Pro Controller, which is probably the preferred way to play, probably how I'll play, or play with my Human 2 controller. But either way, this is very impressive to me, and it's not like there was another hitch there. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Now, some people are going to say, oh, it has problems. But again, like, let me assure you, it's what? End of August. So this build was probably done in like June or July, early July, and then they have to like lock it, content lock it, and then they have to, you know, cordon it off, polish it up, and get it ready to go. So there's no way that this is where they're at currently. They've been developing clearly on the Switch 2 version since then, and they're going to actually take even more time than the other versions to make sure that it is as impressive as it can be. And we know that there's some things about the Switch 2 version that are less than. Okay, so, you know, you could view this, I guess, as a reason to not get it, which is there is no split screen, 4-player split screen, okay? So there is cross-play with other platforms, but there's no online split screen, and that could be an issue for people. That could be something that people don't want to, you know, miss out on, and I understand that. But for me, who will be playing this solo, or if I do play it multiplayer, it would not be split screen multiplayer, I'm super happy with it. Now, the hard thing for me, and I'll be honest, is like I want to play Borderlands 4 immediately. I'm super excited. So I will probably double dip. I will probably grab this game on PS5, and then I'll probably get my Switch 2 version. I don't know if it's cross-plays. Can I, like, is my save cross-save? I don't know if I'll be able to cross-save. We'll have to look into that. I'm guessing the answer is probably no, but maybe there is a world where that is doable. Either way, like, this definitely does have a few hitches. Like, let's be totally honest. We're not going to lie here. But even with characters up in our face, even with effects flying around, even with fight for your life happening here, and just blasting bullets, blasting effects, for the most part, it runs really well. And it seems like there's certain situations and certain hitches that do come into play. But they've got a month, a little over a month. I think it's October 3rd to figure this out. Yeah, I believe it's, what, September 14th on the other consoles. And then October 3rd on Switch 2. Let me just double check that. I believe that's the case here. But I like the way that this looks. You know, in some ways, does it look like Borderlands 3? Yes, it's September 12th and then October 3rd. Okay. So yeah, so they got over a month to get this right. Does it look like Borderlands 3? Yes, but that's just because of the art style. I also think that if you went back to Borderlands 3, it wouldn't look this crispy. It wouldn't have this many effects. I think that's something I noticed right away. Like the lighting effects, the colors, the particles, the reflections, the shine, the sheen, all of that has definitely been upgraded. And then we're looking for a massive world. We're looking for a great end game, and we're looking for a lot of just tantalizing gunplay, boss battles, and different levels that scream distinct areas. And there's more movement emphasized this time around. There's more in terms of how you're going to parkour, navigate, and move around the world. So that is exciting and brings a higher level of speed. Not like a Doom level of speed, but, you know, it makes me think of Doom Eternal, where you're just blazing around like that. It probably won't be anywhere to that degree, but I do think that makes an FPS a lot more fun. Now, again, we're not going to judge here MD14 on his skills. This is a live demo. He's just playing this thing on the show floor at Fan Expo, and sometimes it's hard to just pick up a game and go. I know from experience. But the most important thing is that we're getting to see like real Switch 2 Borderlands 4 for the first time, and something that we've got very slight gameplay of. Like, they give us a small glimpse way back when the Switch 2 first had its big direct. I believe all the footage we've seen since, when they do like a gameplay overview and character deep dives, is all captured on probably PC or PS5. So it's nice to see it here on Switch 2, and it's nice to see that as you fly through the stage, as you fight and fire, it is 96% good. And like I said, the 4% that is having some struggles, that's stuff that they can smooth over and polish as we get to launch. I guess the question for you is, does this look like something worth paying for? Does this look like something worth buying? If you have multiple consoles, is there a world where you get it on Switch 2 and you don't get it somewhere else? And then, you know, for games in the future, if they are day and date, because I understand there's like a different equation here because Borderlands 4 is October 3rd and not September 12th. If modern games, 2025, 2026 games can run this well and be day and date, how are you feeling about the Switch 2? This has me super optimistic. This has me feeling super great. You know, we'll see if Chronos New Dawn can come out guns blazing on September 4th or 5th, whenever that drops in 2 weeks. We'll see if Borderlands 4 can finalize itself up in a great fashion, and then we'll really look forward to things in 2026. We don't have a ton of confirmations yet, but we don't have a ton of games announced in general, whether it's first party or third party. 2026 is still pretty nebulous. We know the new Lego Batman Legacy of Dark Knight is coming to this platform. We know there's indie games coming to this platform, but I fully expect that if this goes well, right, if these third-party games go well that have popped in the first 3 to 6 months of the Switch 2's life cycle, then we can fully expect big support for the Switch 2 in 2026, and hopefully the dev kits have already been seeding out there, and developers are getting them, they're practicing with them, they're working with them, and so we can have day-and-date titles, and we can have smooth performing titles. It feels like the actual visuals are not the problem. Elden Ring looks good. People even said that when it was struggling in handheld mode. Borderlands 4 looks good. Final Fantasy VII Remake looks good, right? We know that like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond looks great. So it's about the performance, and can they get the performance in a spot that feels really comfortable and that feels like it's not being undermined by an underpowered console. And based on this, I feel really good. I think, if we were to in the future get some 2026 titles, I mean, like my fingers crossed, like bring us some Resident Evil, baby. I would love to see Requiem on the Switch 2. And if you could make it a solid 30, dude, I would take that thing everywhere, and then I would cry under my covers, because playing that in bed is probably scary, but maybe less scary than on the couch. I don't know. Big TV for scary games, small TV for scary games. We'll have a chance to test it out with Chronos New Dawn soon. But Borderlands 4 looking pretty spiffy. I'm feeling good. How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments down below. This is a modern 2025 multi-platform game on the Switch 2, proving that it has the chops. It can make it happen. We got Indiana Jones, Starfield. This is going to be pretty sick, especially if the new games match up with the sort of old games, and we can have performance like this. So let me know your take in the comments down below. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. Big shout out again to MD14. Check out his channel. Link in the description down below. And SwitchForce out.